Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ali and here I just talk to myself about books and then someone, maybe you may not watch this at a later date. Wow, I look shiny. It's the sun cream, guys. Wear your SPF, but also it makes you look glowy. Yeah, it's been warm. It's been warm in the UK this past few days and not in like a good way. It's been very humid. The sun is good, I love the sun, but the humidity I do not enjoy. Because why does 28 degrees here feel more unbearable than like 38 degrees in a Mediterranean country? I just cannot do it. Also there's no like nice beaches nearby, so there's that too. But yeah, anyway, stop waffling on. Welcome. Today I'll be picking out my June TBR. So let's get started. Okay, so as I said, today we'll be picking out my June TBR. I went a bit rogue last month, and whilst I did pick out a series to read, I just went a bit with like mood reading, to be honest. So at the moment I'm currently reading, and I do have the actual hardback somewhere, but I'm reading Breath of the Dragon by Shannon Lee and Fonda Lee in prep for meeting Fonda Lee in June, which I'm very excited for. So I've obviously read and loved her Greenbone Saga series, and this is another book that she wrote with Shannon Lee, which is kind of like a YA martial arts inspired fantasy, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm hoping to read it this weekend, then I'll kind of finish it. That'll be my last book of May, and then I can start with my June TBR. So last month in terms of series, I did pick out Mortal Instruments. However, that series is like 6 books long, and then there's obviously the other 3 books, so the Infernal Devices. So what I decided to do was actually to split it into like 3 trilogies. So that's kind of how I was told to read it anyway. So I did the first 3 Mortal Instruments books. I will then have Infernal Devices in here, and then I'll have Mortal Instruments in there back again to pick out at a future date. So I'll do kind of 3, 3 and 3. But yes, so that's the book I chose in terms of series last month, and let's just make a start with that for this month as well and see what we pull out. I do get a veto just in case I pull out a massive series and I don't feel like it. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Okay, oh, that's upside down. So Between the Earth and Sky series, not massive books, so let me just go grab them. I think we could probably do that one. Here we have Between Earth and Sky trilogy. This is by Rebecca Roanhorse, and we have these stunning editions from Broken Binding, which came as part of like their sub. So the first book is Black Sun. This is just, I love these books so much, they're so beautiful. Then we have Mirrored Heavens, and last but not least we have A Fevered Star, and I am actually quite excited to read these. I've heard really good things and the synopses just sound really good. Also, I'm sorry, these edges are just beautiful. I'll read you the blurb to the first book because also I don't want to spoil myself. So, a god will return when the earth and sky converge under the black sun. In the holy city of Tova, the winter solstice is usually a time for celebration and renewal, but this year it coincides with a solar eclipse, a rare celestial event prescribed by the sun priest as an unbalancing of the world. Meanwhile, a ship launches from a distant city bound for Tova and set to arrive on the solstice. The captain of the ship, Xiala, is a disgraced teak whose song can calm the waters around her as easily as it can warp a man's mind. Her ship carries 1 passenger, described as harmless. The passenger Serapio is a young man, blind, scarred, and cloaked in destiny. As Xiala well knows, when a man is described as harmless, he usually ends up being a villain. I am very excited for this. Also, the end paper art just has me screaming. But yes, very excited. Okay, so this is our trilogy, or rather series, for the month of June. And hopefully we will read it all, and we'll try and be really good for that. Okay, then I do have another book I don't know if I'm going to read it yet or not. It does sound interesting. It's for a book club that I'm in with work, which is Yesteryear. Yesteryear? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And I don't remember the author right now, but it's essentially a book that follows like a trad wife in modern day who is suddenly like magically thrown back in time and wakes up in like the 1800s and has to come to terms with the life that she like kind of reinforces through her like social media, etc., because she's like an influencer, and whether it's truly what she thought it would be and if she can kind of like make it through, which does sound interesting. I feel like that book has been everywhere all the time. I don't know, I do prefer for book clubs to have books that have been out a while, so you can kind of see whether or not like it was just the initial hype or if it's actually a good read, and also so you can get it in paperback in case you don't like it. So for this one I'll try and just get it on Kindle for now, and just go from there, but that will be added to probably this pile unless I read it in kind of, wait, will it be June? No, yes, it'll have to be June, so we'll add that book to it. And then for another book club which I have with my friends, also at work, but all of us have the Illumicrit sub, and we've decided for the next one we are going to read none other, and I just unbox this, than Bloodbound by Ellis Hunter, which is a duo writer friend group. But yeah, this sounds really interesting and really fun. I've heard nothing but good things, and also I've heard that it's got a massive cliffhanger at the end, so I'm quite excited to read it. So again, we'll be adding this to my June TBR. You can kind of, oh gosh, see there what it's like. Yeah, okay, so we'll keep this here. And so that's 4 to 5 books already, but I do want to pick out some other reads because I'm not saying I will read all of them this month, but I might then allow myself a bit more flexibility to mood read depending on what I pull out. So I will be going back to my trusty Illumicrit prompt cards to pick out the next few books from my, since all of these are like special editions, from my paperback shelves behind me. Those are all books I haven't read yet, by the way. Don't judge me. I'm watching you. Do not judge. So let's have a look and see what we pull out. And I'll maybe pull out like 3 books or so. And sometimes it's quite hard because some of these books I like don't even remember picking up or what they are. So we'll see if I recall what kind of prompt. Okay, so first prompt is a book with a god or goddess. Okay, I should actually have quite a few of those. Let me just take a peek. All right. Okay. Oh gosh. So we have a few options. All of these are books that I believe have gods or goddesses in them. Some of them because they are myth retellings, so I know they will. So first of all, we have Orphea and Eurydice, which is a gender flipped retelling of Orpheus and Eurydice. So I'm assuming there will be gods in this, or at least mentioned, because it's based on Greek mythology. So Orphea's poetry can move flowers to bloom and wave to dance, but her father, the sun god, oh there we go, it's got a god in it, has forbidden her this art. Defying all expectations, she wins a place training with the powerful muses and learns to craft stories infused with history, romance and tragedy. Soon Orphea's heart desires grow to form a bond with a young shield maker, Eurydice, and her fiery ambition finds a perfect complement for a soft-mannered support. Recruited for the quest to win the Golden Fleece, Orphea faces dragons, sirens and ruthless warriors, but she longs to return to Eurydice. Yet she has a darker journey to make. One will see her fight for the love with all her power of her poetry. So that actually sounds quite good. I got this like ages ago at like the first ever YALC I went to, and I haven't read it yet, so that is potentially an option. We then have Queens of Themyscira, which is again a Greek mythology retelling based on the Amazons. So I presume there will be gods and goddesses in this one. I've already read Athena's Child by Hannah Lynn and I did enjoy it. So that is an option. We then have The End Crowns All by Bea Fitzgerald. I read Girl Goddess Queen by her, which is a retelling of Persephone and Hades. And this one is based on Cassandra and Helen of Troy. So we've got Cassandra, Princess of Troy, is a doomed prophet, and then we've got Helen, fled Sparta in the pursuit of love, but even her beauty and intelligence are no match for the politics of the Trojan court. So I believe this is actually like a queer sapphic romance between the two. I'm not sure if gods are actually pivotal to the story or if they're just kind of mentioned, but it is in that kind of time space mythology thing. And then we've got this one, which is the Isle of the Gods. I'm purely assuming that based on the title there are gods in here. So the first installment of a sweeping romantasy duology from the best-selling co-author of the Illuminae Files. So this is by Amy Kaufman. Amy Kaufman wrote the Illuminae Files with Jay Kristoff, who I love, so maybe that's a good sign. Sally has salt water in her veins, so when her father leaves her high and dry at the port of Kirkpool, she has no intention of staying at home all winter where he sets off on an adventure. But her plans to follow him are dashed when a handsome stranger with telltale magician's marks on his arms commandeers her ship. He is Prince Leander of Alinor, and he needs to cross the Crescent Sea without detection to complete a ritual on the sacred Isle of the Gods. Sally has no desire to escort a spoiled prince anywhere, and no time for his entitled demands or his good looks. But what starts as a leisure cruise will lead to acts of treason and sheer terror in the high seas, bringing two countries on the brink of war, two strangers closer than ever thought possible, and two dangerous gods stirring from centuries of rest. Okay, so I feel like, based on the blurbs, my top two choices are these two. So we've either got Orphea and Eurydice by Elise John, or we have Isle of the Gods by Amy Kaufman. Now, this is a standalone and this is the start of the duology. I am more inclined to read this because it's written by Amy Kaufman and I feel like it's going to be good. However, should I pick this one up because it's a one-off? It's a standalone and then I won't be like wrapped up in another series? I don't know. I just do not know. Maybe I'll just save this one to like binge read and this one will be kind of like quicker. Okay, I'm gonna go with Orphea and Eurydice. See how that goes. Okay, so next prompt is a book with werewolves. Ooh, I don't know if I've got any books with werewolves, to be honest. Do I have any books with werewolves? Okay, I'm gonna have to repick because I genuinely don't think I have any books with werewolves in it, unless does the Wolf King have werewolves in it? Let me just check. I don't actually know. Or are they like wolf shifters? Does that matter? Is that the same thing? Okay. I do have one book with wolves in it, werewolves. So I guess I'll be grabbing that one. Okay, so this is the one book I have with werewolves in it. Also, Google tells me. So this is The Wolf King by Lauren Palfreyman. I have heard really good things about this. However, I also know it's kind of like an alpha human with werewolf, whatever, romantasy. So I am going into it with an open mind and hoping that I actually enjoy it and it's not just like all romance and smart and no plot, but we'll see. So when war erupts between humans and werewolves, a princess finds herself torn between duty and desire. On the eve of her wedding, Princess Aurora catches the eye of powerful Alpha Callum. Believing she's the key to ending a brutal war, Callum kidnaps Aurora, whisking her away to the rugged lands north of the border. There, a forbidden attraction starts to grow. Just as Aurora learns that not all wolves are bad, Callum discovers that she is in danger from those closest to him. With monsters on both sides, a bloodthirsty war between humans and werewolves raging, and an undeniable passion growing between them, will their story end in love or tragedy? And will Aurora ever get home? Does she even want to? I did get this at YALG because it was like half price, and I was like, I do love a half price hardcover. But yeah, I've heard good things about this, so I'm going into it with an open mind, and hopefully, as I said, it won't just be like pure smart and it will be like an actual plot. I think the second book is also out now, and I think this is a duology, but don't quote me on it. But yeah, let's see what it's about, and hopefully I enjoy it. So I'll add it to my, and then I think let's pick one more. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I do read yesteryear, maybe we'll pick 2 more just to give me a bit of flexibility. Okay, I do kind of hope I get like a prompt that will let me pick up a book I kind of wanted to read this month. Okay, a dark academia book. Okay, dark academia book. I do have. Is it really? Actually, do you know what? I'm gonna veto that one because I'm really not in the mood for a dark academia book. It's just not the right time of year, and I don't want to read a dark academia book. So pick another prompt. Okay, here we have a book you recently purchased. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. Awesome. All right, so I think I'm going to go for this one. So this is The Unworthy by Augustina Bisterica. It's like a horror type vibe. She wrote Tender is the Flesh, which I really loved, and I will, I'm sure, love this one too. So I'll put this one up here, and then one more prompt, and then we are done. We are done. Okay. Oh. A book with a journey or a quest. Now that's literally like pretty much every book I own has a journey or a quest in it. I might pick this one up because I recently bought it. Yeah, I recently bought it. It does definitely have a journey in it, in terms of like their traveling. So, and it's by one of my favorite authors. So here we have We Burned So Bright, and it's also a tiny book. So hopefully that means I'll be able to read it. It's only less than 200 pages. So yeah, 163 pages. Like I could read that in a day. So maybe actually we'll pick one more. I'm being very ambitious here. But also it allows me to, like, if I don't like any of them, to DNF, and then I won't feel bad. Okay, so one more. Oh. An urban fantasy book. Now does this count as urban fantasy? I've been meaning to read this. Does this count as urban fantasy? I don't know that it does. I mean, it's based in nowadays. It's based in nowadays times. Any other urban fantasies? I do have an urban fantasy book, but it's the beginning of a massive series, and I don't want to pick that up, which is The Bone Season. I do want to read that, but I want to read that as part of like my series reads, so I don't think I'm going to choose that, and I don't think I have any other books that are urban fantasy, so I think let's just pick another one. Okay. A book with a magical school or college. Okay, we can do that. I am actually going to pick this because it's also going to be the next Waterstones book club read, and that is a Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I've only got book one, so hopefully I like it, but it is the start of a trilogy, and it is definitely based in a school of magic, because it says right there, enter a school of magic unlike any you have encountered. So this one would be a good one. There are no teachers, no holidays, friendships are purely strategic, and the odds of survival are never equal. Once you're inside, there are only two ways out. You graduate or you die. Elle Higgins is uniquely prepared for the school's many dangers. She may be without allies, but she possesses a dark power strong enough to level mountains and wipe out untold millions. Never mind easily destroy the countless monsters that prowl the school. Except she might accidentally kill all the other students too. So Elle is trying her hardest not to use it. That is, unless she has no other choice. Okay. I think that's enough. I think that's enough books. Ellie, stop it. I just love picking out books with prompts. It just makes my day. So, but anyway, got to be a bit more decisive. Say decisive. A bit less optimistic in my reading capabilities, because there is only 30 days in June. So, a limited amount of time, and I do have work 9 to 5 most. Like Monday to Friday, so yeah, and also potentially a life. It's also my birthday in June, so quite excited. But anyway, here we have this month, plus potentially yesteryear. We have June's TBR. I am very excited to read these. Will I read them all? Unsure. Will I try? Yes, probably. But here we have it. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do pop a like, and if you would like to see more, please subscribe. See you soon.